Live, local, late breaking. This is Newswatch 12 at 5.
I come to the Senate floor tonight to ring the alarm bells. We're in the most perilous moment, the biggest threat to our republic since the Civil War. President Trump is shredding our Constitution.
After more than 22 hours on the Senate floor, Oregon U.S. Senator Jeff Merkley wrapped up his marathon of a speech just 3 hours ago, a speech which criticized President Donald Trump and his administration. The speech is now one of the longest in Senate history. Thank you for joining us for Newswatch 12 at 5. I'm Oscar Rodriguez.
And I'm Samantha Cadera. Merkley used several hours to describe what he calls Trump's authoritarian moves. He highlighted issues such as the attacks on the press, the National Guard in Portland, and access to health care. Merkley also spoke on a chapter from the book How Democracies Die, which addressed Trump's first year in office, calling it an authoritarian report card.
Merkley did yield for lengthy questions for other Democratic senators, but several Republican senators have criticized Merkley for the speech.
I think it's purely performance art. He's trying to put on a show for his base back home, his political base. It means nothing in terms of the functioning of the Senate or trying to work out some of the problems that we have or reopening the government.
Others have criticized Merkley for holding the Senate floor open all night, keeping floor staff, security, and other workers who are currently unpaid to work overtime hours. We've reached out to the office of Senator Merkley for more details and are waiting for a response.
Now taking a live look out at Ashland tonight, it was another beautiful fall day. Despite the chilly start, we have several events taking place across the Rogue Valley this weekend, but we are tracking some changes ahead in our weather. So let's go ahead and turn it right over to Storm Tracker 12 Chief Meteorologist Matt Hoffman. We still have some time to enjoy this nice fall weather, right?
Yes, we do have another day of quiet weather, very mild temperatures, and then the real big changes start to move in for the end of the work week on your Friday. Now, live look out there now. We're seeing a fair amount of sunshine. We've been seeing some passing clouds throughout the day. Right now, 57 degrees in Gold Beach. It's 70 in Medford, 62 degrees in Klamath Falls, and right now 61 in Mount Shasta. Winds a bit breezy on the east side, and temperatures, again, very pleasant. Upper 60s to right around 70 in our west side valleys. At 65 degrees in Lakeview, 57 along the coast, where we do have clouds really starting to become more prevalent again for coastal communities. Those clouds starting to redevelop, some passing mid to high level clouds on the east side, but fair amount of sunshine in the Rogue Valley. Our next big storm system, the big weather maker to wrap up the weekend, heading into the weekend, you can see it clear as day out over the Pacific. It is going to work in as we go through the day on Friday. Tonight, though, it is going to stay quiet, partly cloudy to mostly clear skies. Chilly temperatures inland. We'll get down into the 20s again for the basin. Tomorrow, the final day of restaurant week in Medford, and it's going to be a gorgeous one. Right around 60 degrees for the lunch hour, still near 70 by around dinner, and we'll just see a mix of sunshine and clouds throughout the day. No worries for rain, but then some big changes to follow as we head towards the weekend. Tomorrow, up to 72 degrees in Medford, 60 in Brookings. We'll top out around 65 degrees in Klamath Falls. Winds should stay fairly light as we go through the day tomorrow, but as we move towards Friday, winds start to crank up. That's the first thing you're going to notice as we go through the morning and midday hours. Some of the gustiest conditions will be for the coast, the Shasta Valley, and over on the east side. And as we go through the day, precipitation will march its way inland. We'll time out this wet weather for the end of the work week, and we have lots more on the way for this weekend. A full look at your forecast coming up in just a bit.
Thank you, Matt. A new housing is completed for affordable housing for senior communities, all within 9 months. I took a closer look at the new community and to hear from residents who just recently moved in and see how they're settling into their new home. Oro Vista Village is the newest senior housing project for nonprofit organization Age Plus. They set the mark to make this possible. The 26-unit housing project is in high demand within less than a week from opening. The project only took 9 months to be done due to modular construction. Each unit comes with every appliance a person needs. Plus, all utilities are included in the month's rent besides electricity, all costing under $800 a month. What was your thoughts when you heard like $79.95 a month?
Oh my gosh, it's like Thank you, Lord.
Not just her, but many residents are thrilled with the new affordable housing project. Oregon Representative Pam Marsh says these projects are crucial for the senior community.
You know, during the legislative session, I did 2 bills that were focused specifically on senior housing because we know we have this tsunami of low-income seniors coming our way and we're not prepared for them.
With House Bills 3589 and 3506 passing through, representatives hope it provides more funding and construction to build more affordable housing just like this one. For resident Alex Edmond, she says she is grateful for places like this as rent has increased throughout the Rogue Valley.
We're all so incredibly grateful that talent was willing and able and stepped up to provide a place that we could call home.
Now we're continuing to follow the Medford School Board, which is one step closer to choosing a firm that will help find the district's next superintendent, something I personally have been closely following since the resignation of former Superintendent Brett Champion and the naming of interim Superintendent Jeannie Grazioli. At today's meeting, board members previewed proposals from several firms interested in leading the superintendent search. The board compared costs, services, and experience before narrowing the field.
Really need to make sure you're getting good fit and one that you think can get the result for you. I think they're all in an acceptable range.
After some discussion, the board agreed to interview 3 firms, and each will be interviewed Friday afternoon, with board members dividing up reference checks ahead of a final decision expected next week.
And at Grants Pass High School, painting goes far beyond the canvas. It's opening doors for students after graduation.
One art teacher is using his paintbrush to change lives. Newswatch 12's Daryl Green takes us to the art room.
One high school teacher is turning paintings into possibilities, one portrait at a time. This year at Grants Pass High School, Joshua Morton is once again using his talent to help fund students' futures.
But that's one thing that I like to do with a lot of my art is make things that couldn't exist in reality.
Since founding the One Sweet World Scholarship Fund in 2013, Grants Pass art teacher Joshua Morton has utilized his artistic talent to donate over $40,000, assisting seniors who took his art class pursue post-secondary education.
Does something that's made of wood look like it's made of wood?
He highlights his passion to give back to students, his motivation.
Education is important. I know that it's expensive, and I also know that sometimes it can be a barrier for people where they're like, man, I have a dream, I want to do something, but I just don't have the money.
Morton's art typically symbolizes his passions in life, and this year's portrait theme is no different.
The cool thing about a dog portrait is it's one of those where when you finish it and you give it to the owner of the dog, sometimes they'll start crying. You know, a lot of times it's a dog that's passed, and it's a dog that made a big impact on their family.
And for his long-term goals for the One Sweet World Scholarship Fund,
I would love it if I could get it to where it was almost a full ride somewhere. And the goal is that by the time I leave, that they can just keep each year giving out a full ride for art to a Grants Pass high school student. I think that'd be really cool.
Turning art into dreams, Morton plans to continue changing lives with this year's portrait theme. Reporting in Grants Pass, I'm Daryl Green.
Crater High School is helping kids and families in need through a service called Threads of Hope. Newswatch 12's Grace Ritz went to Crater High School and learned more about how it works and what the community can do to help out.
High School's Threads of Hope is a way for the staff and the community to help students that may be in need through food and clothes, even school supplies. They're able to help students who might not have everything they need at home.
Threads of Hope is a program on our campus that we provide to kids whether they need school supplies or clothing or food bags to send home.
Years ago, staff at Crater High School noticed some students needed extra food and clothing. In response, they created Threads of Hope, a program that allows staff, family, and friends to anonymously refer students for support.
We do have more students who are in need. Sometimes it's just in need of nice shirts and slacks and shoes for graduation. Sometimes it's homecoming. Sometimes they need clothes. They really come to us for anything that they might need, which is nice because of that kind of brings in that campus community that we have.
All the food and clothing they receive come from donations right to the school. And they hope to start offering more fresh food items for students and their families, like fruits, vegetables, and milk.
We're trying to go that way of trying to get more fresh foods instead of all canned foods, trying to keep things that we can give out every week instead of like constantly having to just feed families mac and cheese and peanut butter and jelly and those types of things.
Each food bag they give to students is filled with extra items, so siblings and parents at home have access to food too. For more information on the program and donations needed, you can visit our website. Reporting in Central Point, I'm Grace Ritz.
The city of Brookings is announcing 2 new electric trucks forward to the city fleet supporting both police and public works operations. The new trucks were purchased using funds from a U.S. Department of Transportation grant and federal tax credits. With onboard generators, these will provide power for various utilities. ODOT will also install a charging station at City Hall in the coming months.
Looking ahead to this Saturday, community member will be celebrating the reconnection of Blue Heron Creek to Bear Creek, which is flowing freely for the first time in 75 years. The celebration runs from 1 to 2:30 p.m. at Blue Heron Park in Phoenix, with signs to guide visitors to the creek's mouth. Attendees can hear the story of the restoration, pour spring water into the newly restored creek, touch 80 million years old fossils, and help plant shade trees as part of the project.